one that we want to
Suspense, look at
The demo's broken.
Oh, are you kidding me? We'll start with
It's
the
fine. It's
announcement,
working right
man.
now. Yeah.
So I heard there's some stuff happening in durable functions world, but
Yeah.
you tell us
So
about
Durable 2.0 has been in preview for a few months, and today I think we announced the GA of Durable 2.0.
I think right when you said that, fireworks just shot off behind
Yeah, I
you.
think so.
As soon as you
Yeah, we
said
had
the
to
words
duck.
durable went GA.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a bunch of new features, but the main one is durable entities. So it's a new way of actually programming stateful functions. So they're really useful for things like IoT. So if you're used to like things like an actor model, it's really good to having like an entity to represent each of your devices. And then here you can see on our screen here that I have a bunch of simulated devices. These devices are sending a message to a storage queue once every few seconds. So it's actually pretty hard to actually detect when something is offline. So you know when something receives a message,
Yep.
but it's actually pretty hard to detect when something is offline. So we're using durable entities to detect when something hasn't sent a message for about 20 seconds.
Okay, so this is I'm loving this Christmas tree visualization that I'm
Yeah.
looking at right now.
Yeah.
So every single one of these, we could imagine this is like some IoT device, like some sensor that's sending data. And what the entity is going to help us do is, if one of these devices goes offline, if it stops sending the message, we're actually going to be like, oh, hey, I think device 16 has dropped over dead.
Yeah.
That's super cool and super useful. And it's one of those things that, yeah, seeing when something's alive or making sure there's a trigger to, execute when a message gets sent is easy enough, but then knowing the absence of a trigger can be very, very hard.
Yeah, so I can quickly go through the code in a couple minutes. So it's fairly easy. So we just have a queue trigger. But one thing that we're doing is we're bringing in the durable client, and then we're signaling an entity that we have received a message that is represented by that entity itself for the device that's represented by the entity itself. And then the entity itself is actually just a class in C#. We're only keeping track of the last time that we received any communication from it. And then when a message is received, all we're doing is we're just queuing up a delayed queue message so that in about 20 seconds, it'll remind this entity to check whether or not it has received any more messages in the last 20 seconds. And this is going to get better because we're working on a reminders feature in durable entities so that you can actually an entity can actually just remind itself in kind of an arbitrary number of seconds or minutes, and then get rid of this kind of queue that we're doing here.
I see. So you've got your IoT devices dropping a message in a queue, and a function is triggering on that queue. And as soon as it triggers, it's notifying the entity or signaling the entity and saying, hey, I just got a message for device 10. And you have an entity, a durable entity for device 10 that wakes up and it's like, hey, I just got a message, and remind me in 2 minutes to make sure that I've gotten a message since now. And as you mentioned, there'll be a reminders thing. So that way you have almost like a stateful copy of every single one of those green light squares, and it's reminding itself every time it gets a message, make sure I get another message within 2 minutes, and if not, I assume do something.
Yeah. So another thing that you can do with a durable entity is that you still have access to all sorts of bindings, including our friend the SignalR service binding. So that's what we're using to light up our screen here. So that's actually all it is. There's not too much going on here. So when a message comes back on the queue, we're just checking to see whether or not we've received the message in the last 20 seconds. If we have not, then we just basically use the SignalR service to broadcast out that this device is offline. So let's quickly take some devices offline, and then we can keep talking about that while it's happening.
I know we have to do it quickly. We're on the last minute, but
okay.
Yeah, but
we can do
I'm
this
interested
fast.
to see one thing I love about this is, although we're talking to storage persistent state, we never explicitly had to do it. A lot of it's abstracted from us from the framework. So although you're persisting, like all the information is all done for you. So it's
That's
great.
true. There were no storage SDKs in there to manage things like the last received time. That's just being managed for you automatically by the durable entity framework.
Yeah, and as you can see, I've turned off half the devices.
Going red now. It is very festive, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And we're going to turn off more and more devices as we get closer to Christmas.
That's awesome. And
Right.
I can imagine I could have like an Azure alert that's saying, hey, my device is offline. Go check out device, whatever, 100.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So this has been great, like fantastic. Durable Functions 2.0, GA, use entities. premium PowerShell, really fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone. Coming up at 3:30 on our live stream is the breakout session, Exploring Containers and Orchestration Azure with Shane Boyer, one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Thank you.